We're always looking at running back stashes and handcuffs as insurance policies for our starting running backs. Also, as lottery ticket plays for the back end of the season. Right now, the starting running backs in the National Football League are staying healthy. We're not dealing with as many injuries as usual. However, that could still happen in the back nine of the season as we get into the fantasy playoffs. So we have to shuffle the chairs on the deck to get ready for that moment and have our stashes in order. If you have 20 players on your roster, you probably got room for 1 or 2 stashes at least, maybe 3 max, but you have to get ready for that. You have to look at the upside plays. One running back with a lot of upside right now, and we all know this, is Jaylen Wright. 4.3 speed, tremendous burst, sharing the backfield with a stud running back and another veteran, but the upside's grand. We're going to do a deep dive on him today to see whether or not you need to stash him for your fantasy team. There's a bunch of stash running backs right now, considering there hasn't been any injuries, so we're going to be looking at a lot of this type of running back going into the end of the season. But before we dig in and look at this, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing these deep dives every day on as many players as possible. We're going deep on the waiver wire, and we're using these videos to help you set your lineups. Tomorrow, we're rolling out the must-start video. You need to watch that and then ask your start-sit questions in that comment section so I can help you out and everybody else can help you out as well. Click that button. Stop missing out. But we're digging in here looking at Jaylen Wright, and the big thing is Mostert is on the hot seat right now. And when you're looking at a running back with top-tier upside that has been doing a little bit of something on the field throughout the season, you know, on a Dolphins team that's not projected to win the Super Bowl, could be getting some workload in the back end of the year. And now we're starting to see some of the dominoes fall for that to happen. And Mostert right now is on the hot seat. Could lend to something happening for Jaylen Wright in the near future. You're looking at the workload here for these running backs. For week 10 here, Devon Achane had 37 snaps. Wright had 9. Mostert had 8. So Wright usurped him, got more work, more opportunities, even though it's an infinitesimal amount of work. We're looking at Jaylen Wright's rushing yards per attempt on the season here, week by week. And that's the big thing I want to note, because this guy has the speed to burn it. And when he sees the hole, he's eating up chunks of yards. That's why you're seeing 8.5 yards per carry in week 3, 6.6 in week 5, 6.6 in week 7, 9 in week 8, and it's up and down because that's the type of runner he is. And that's the type of runner, when you're getting on the cheap or taking flyers on, that you probably want to look at, because he has the upside to blow your face off on any given touch. And we saw that at Tennessee last year, over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. In the SEC, 4.35 yards after contact per attempt, longest run of 82 yards. The speed plays into that. And then just looking at his game log, but looking at his average on yards per carry here, look at some of these games. 32 yards per carry, 14 yards per carry, 10.9, 10.4, 10, 9.6, 9.1, a bunch of them. This is all his games for 5 yards a carry or more, and there's 18 of them on his career at Tennessee. And that is connecting the dots to what we're seeing here at Miami, is a guy that will melt your face back, get you a lot of yards on any given touch, buoy that production on that, a home run hitter with this 4.38 speed, elite burst score, elite speed score at 210 pounds. He's up there in speed, up there with Devon Achane, and he's bigger, thicker, 4th round prospect. More raw as a running back, especially when it comes to timing his cut to the hole and everything else. But when everything's in front of him, if he gets the ball in space, it's over. It's over. It's blast off. And he's the top tier percentile, 40-yard dash, 10-yard sprint, vertical jump, broad jump. The burst score is a mix of the vertical jump and broad jump, because the jumping metrics from the combine indicates your burst, your pop off the step, your explosiveness. The 40-yard dash mixed in with your weight and height gives you your speed score. All of it good. 10-yard split's okay at 155. However, we got the burst, we got the speed. We're already seeing it on the field, and it's showing up in the metrics. You're looking at this depth chart here. Raheem Mostert is trending out, and now we're in the back end of the season. Can you look at us in a straight face and say Dolphins are winning the Super Bowl this year? Because they're more than likely going to get ready for next year. Next year is probably going to be Achane and Wright as the mainstays in the offense, and they want to see what that looks like, and Wright's probably going to get more opportunities slowly and surely in the back end of the season as they're trying to see what they got, what moves they can make or should make if things happen to fall in their lap this offseason when it comes to transactions. So they really want to see what's up with Jaylen Wright right now, and this is going to be a good opportunity to do that. And we're seeing him get a little bit more work each week. A little bit. Whether it's a little bit more snaps, a little bit more touches. And there are some games where he's really taking advantage of that. And then you're looking at him next to some of the other handcuffs. There's a lot of good handcuffs right now. It's not just Jaylen Wright. There's just a lot of good handcuffs right now. It's what you can get also off your waiver wire, what you can hold and what you like, because all of them have something in their game that could allow them to ignite. And a lot of them are rookies, a lot of them are young players, and usually the young players are the ones you want to go after here. There's a lot of other guys that's not listed, like a Tyler Algier that I really like, that I'm going to do another video on because I think he's being slept on right now. But a lot of these young guys, if given the opportunity of a much larger workload, could really go off for you. Pick who you want. Not just Jaylen Wright, just pick who you want. I'm not here to sell you on Jaylen Wright. If you like Manuel Wilson better in this situation, go after it. Have fun. Because honestly, it's all about that starting running back getting hurt. You're gambling on that in this type of situation. And that's what's really going to ignite the fire for all these running backs here that you see listed. Jaylen Wright's in a little bit of different situation here where you can see him get a little bit of work and enough work to see some production to help you out in fantasy football as a stash plus. For a little bit of something, you might see that. However, Ray Davis is doing that now, but he should be rostered. He should be rostered. Blake Corum, injury needs to happen. Braylon Allen, injury needs to happen. Trey Benson, injury needs to happen. Javonte Williams, losing his job. Devin Singletary, losing his job. I don't recommend that. There's just a lot of options here. A lot to look at, a lot to take in, but make sure you got your stash running back in order when you get into the playoffs. We're looking at the workload here for these players from last week. 12 rushing attempts for 37 yards. Jaylen Wright, 5 carries, 3 yards. We're getting some work recently. We're getting more than Mostert. That is something to look at. But on top of that, you're looking at his work in the passing game. He's not getting much work in the passing game. However, they don't need to use him in the passing game because they got Devin Achane. However, if we get any targets in the flat with space in front of him, it's lights out. It's over with. He's going to house it, and they know this, and they're going to explore that and mess around with it probably a time or two a game just to see what's up. If he's starting to see a considerable workload, that's something to pay attention to. However, he's not your stash. That's why you don't need him. You're stashing somebody else. That's cool. Make sure you do have a stash running back if you got the space. That is the strategy right now. Make sure you got things ready for the future. This is a guy you're stashing. He does have a lot of upside. We covered it. He's got a ton of upside. I don't see why you wouldn't want to stash him. I think he's good to go when it comes to upside. I think his whole portfolio is built on that upside and how that could ignite. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.